This is going to be my first part of my three-part review of the Side Pocket Duffle by Saddleback Leather. This only comes in one size, and this is the tobacco color of the leather. So this three-part video review, we will go through by usual three parts. So we'll go through the outside of the bag, the utility and how it looks. We'll then go through the inside of the bag in the second video. And the third one will just be my overall impressions of the bag itself. If you aren't interested in watching all three parts, there is also a very brief single video going through everything pretty quickly. So starting like I do in all my bags, we're going to start with the shoulder strap here. So shoulder strap that comes with this briefcase is the same shoulder strap that you see coming with the briefcases as well. It has these two lobster claws holding them in place. The bags now come with the dog leash collars. It's very tough metal being made here. You have many strap holes to choose from, but given the size of this bag, you typically spend most of your time using these bottom couple straps. I'm about 6'1", and this is about where I keep it, mostly just so this tail piece here doesn't flop around. Honestly, if I were to be honest, my most ideal strap position probably be one of these two holes over here, but then that means that this little end piece is flopping around, and I don't like that. It comes with two shoulder pads, so 1 and 2, also of matching leather, and they are the neoprene filled shoulder pads that you see in your briefcases. Is also what's on this duffel. In terms of the length of the shoulder pad, the strap itself, I'm not sure if it's actually any longer or shorter than the ones for the briefcases. I actually have another one, so I'll grab it. Could do a quick comparison here. So this is going to be the shoulder pad from a medium briefcase compared to this one here, and looks like it is exactly the same length. So it is literally the same shoulder pad that you would get from your briefcases. All right, so diving into the bag itself, we'll start off talking about the leather first, because this is has been a big point in all my videos about the leather and quality of Saddleback leather. I know a lot of my older videos make it seem like I don't like Saddleback leather and I don't like the quality of the leather, but what it really comes down to is how much the leather quality has changed over time. This is one of the older Saddleback bags. This particular bag was likely created somewhere in the late 2000s, early 2010s. This is when Saddleback had very strict quality control. All of their products, though it's difficult to dye leather, came in very consistent fashions with very small variations bag to bag. You can see that this particular tobacco color had what some people online refer to as velvet, which is, if I run my fingers along, you can see I can actually change the direction of the velvet itself, and the leather just has this quality to it, this really soft touch quality. It's not like suede where you can really feel the fibers, but it's just subtle enough there that as you run your fingers along, you can really see the difference in the direction of these fibers. This is the leather that really brought the following Saddleback leather. The big collectors, the people who really love this stuff, this is the leather that they go after. It's a very light color. You can see it's very raw, very natural, and incredibly easy to stain as well, which leads to many people having these as collector bags and not being used a whole lot. The handle of the bag itself is the same length and width as the handle that you see on their briefcases. The advantage of this handle is there is not that little piece of leather here that holds that giant O-ring, which means that you can let go, grab very easily without your hand or your wedding rings getting caught underneath the handle. The other very important thing about the top of this bag is specifically where these shoulder straps clip onto. So let me show you here. The shoulder straps on this particular bag clip to the side of both of the handles. Now this may seem like a very efficient design because it makes it very simple to carry the bag and go from, you know, a position in which you carry it with the shoulder pads to a position in which you carry the handle. The problem is if you look specifically at how this bag then gets loaded, that means that the 2 points of contact to carry this over your shoulder are very close together. They are not at the ends of the bag, which means that the weight distribution when you're carrying this is not that you're trying to pull the end and getting maximum torque from that side because you're the furthest distance from the center of mass. Instead, what you have is some mass overlaying the edge of this. This means that as you carry it, this strap is trying to support this bag's weight in 4 separate directions. This also means that the most efficient carrying direction for this bag is right along the center line, slightly towards the middle, not towards the front because there's some weight over here for both sides, which means that to hold it effectively and in a very comfortable position, your shoulder literally needs to be right above where this handle is. If you look at the depth of this bag in front and behind, that's not physically possible. If your shoulder is here, then you are walking at an angle. What ultimately ends up happening is this bag is rubbing against your leg, the shoulder strap is too far over, and this bag becomes incredibly uncomfortable because suddenly you're walking lopsided with this bag. And especially when you have it filled all the way and you're walking a mile or 2 miles in the airport, this design becomes incredibly uncomfortable. This bag also lacks D-rings anywhere else, which means you cannot take these off and clip it in any other direction, for example, to make it a backpack or something else that's more comfortable to hold. This is your only options, either holding it by its handle or holding it with the shoulder straps. What you find a lot of users end up doing is if they have to go long distances, they're kind of forced to use the handle. Just because of the way the bag is loaded, if you use your shoulder straps, you walk so awkwardly that after a while your lower back, your hip, and your shoulders all start to hurt. You also can't wear this crossbody because the problem with the crossbody is the direction in which this most efficiently pulls is slightly angled like this. So if it's slightly angled like this and you have it across your body, what happens is it starts to pull at an angle like that. And your back is right here and you're only pushing the whole bag into one corner against your bag. And you run into this issue of not distributing its weight and it's digging into your back and extremely uncomfortable. However, I will say that this specific design of placing these D-rings here does make this a very attractive bag, and it definitely looks much better placed here than it would further back. Now, we'll start with the top of the bag here. So you have these 2 side shoulder straps here, which help secure the bag down. These are removable like they are in the briefcases, which means you can take this off and use it for something else if you need a belt, if you need to secure something else to your bag. And you have the single center strap with the Saddleback leather logo that is very well known along the front, and the 3 rivets. So classical design that you're used to. Along the top of the bag here, you have 2 extremely secured areas here, which correspond with the highest load areas of the bag. So the one thing you cannot fault Saddleback on is they definitely over-designed a lot of this. They use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rivets, as well as stitching and a big piece of leather on both sides to hold this down, which means that if you're either A, pulling by the strap, B, pulling by the handle, or C, have the bag very well loaded with the side strap pulled down tightly, this piece is not going to fail on you. Along the top of this bag, as you move to the back, what you start to see here is the back magazine pocket. Now, before we get there, I do want to show something very unique about the design of this bag that's clearly well thought out. This top of the bag here has 2 different components of the leather. It has this front floppy leather and then the rigid leather right along the top, which is a bit of a square. As we go to the inside, you'll see how that design was specifically created. But for now, on the outside, you can actually enjoy 2 different qualities to this leather: a floppiness as well as a rigidness. Now, you get a back magazine pocket, which is completely unlined, which makes it even floppier, so it's not even pigskin lining against here. It's just the back of that chrome tan leather, allowing you to put in whatever you need here. Typically, it's not magazines. It's probably going to be your passport, your boarding passes, any knickknacks you have while you're going through security. If you forget to throw your wallet or your cell phone or something, they probably get stuck in here. Along either side of the bag, you have your two side pockets. The side pockets themselves are a little unique in how they're secured. So the strap that secures the side pocket starts from the top here, runs through a cut in the leather along the bottom side of the lid. Then it goes through a strap holder in the pocket cover. And then finally, it's secured by buckle system. This means that getting into this becomes a bit of a hassle, because to actually truly get into this, you have to unbuckle it, then you have to pull it out of its holder, then you lift up the lid a little bit, and finally you lift up the cover to the pocket itself, and finally you get to your pocket. Now there is one quick, easy way to get to this if you're in the airport and you need easy access, is if you just skip this holder piece and strap it down like that. It's still not easy to open. It can slide a little bit, but it allows you to only unbuckle and you have quick access to this pocket. The pocket itself, if you look here, is actually stitched and made to bulge out slightly. So there's a little bit of bulging on here to make it easy to get in and out of that pocket. So the pocket in its natural state sits open like this. So you aren't trying to open up a pocket trying to shove as much stuff into here. There's actually a good amount of volume in here, so you can fit a good amount of stuff in here. Likewise, on the other side, you have the exact same design with another pocket. Along the back of the bag, or bottom of the bag here, excuse me, you have a solid square piece here. Just the bottom, same beautiful leather design. Front of the bag, you get a little bit of a floppier piece of leather along the front where the buckles are. It is pigskin lined on the other side, so it's not as floppy as the back magazine pocket, but it does have a little bit of give there in the same beautiful leather. So this is the first part of my three-part review of the Saddleback Side Pocket Duffle. The one thing I will have you keep in mind if you decide to purchase this is to truly secure this bag, you have to secure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 separate leather straps. A little bit frustrating, a little bit time consuming, but definitely makes the bag look much, much better.